transition. Are we live? Are we okay? Are we sounding good?
Are we on the internet?
Are we on the internet?
Internet.
If anybody's got the stream open, let me know if we're all sounding a-okay, but it should be fine. It's been fine other times so far. Hello and welcome to DC30 and our Mythic Odyssey of Theros. D&D with an ancient Greek twist. I am your Dungeon Master, Romeo, and I am joined as ever by Violet, Tamara, Virla, Morse, and Ali. And that does remind me, I do apologize. Let me just quickly put the tags in the right place. Already off to a swimming start. But how is everybody this evening? Welcome to anybody in the chat. Are we live? Are we good? We should hopefully have some fun content for you tonight. I would like to begin with a quick little announcement. The rest of the Twitch emotes got approved. So if you have a look, you will not only see the Hilira Hype emote, the Bithynia Eldritch Blast Finger Guns emote, and the Amalia Slashy Slash emote.
Yes.
But the Defili, for those of you who remember her, laughing emote, the DM Concern emote, and the Bacchios Rage animated emote. It's just, like, the shaky, like, effect goes so well with that emote.
I'm so angry that I have to subscribe to use it.
Literally, okay, if anybody knows how I can, like, make them co-creators on my channel, I'm all ears, because I've been trying to...
Give me my drachmy. We have quested... you know what? This is actually...
I
Alternatively,
literally don't know how.
This is going when we find out we're going to have a party drachmy fund, and we just spend it all on on Twitch. And we go, oh shit, where Scatinas, where do you put the money? I don't know. I was just doing this gesture and it just disappeared.
And we do of course have Rebecca in the chat as well. She is just off camera for the first part of this, but will be, I'm so sorry, joining us on camera as well as, like, on top of in person or as part of the game in a short little bit. That should be its entirety. So I'll just do a quick little size adjustment of something. That should be fine, just fine. Yep, that ought to do it. So, when last we left off, you guys had returned to Tethmos to announce that you had successfully defeated and slain Baragon, Amalia's father and murderer of her mother, and stopped his mysterious but undoubtedly nefarious plot from unfolding. You were handsomely praised by the few Leonin who did believe you. You've made some new allies there, as you know, and after a brief chat where Amalia saw to it that the Dustcrawler Pride would live on, even without her, you set off back to Meletis. And with the help of Rorak, who you helped reclaim the Dustcrawler Pride back from Baragon, he managed to get you there a little quicker than you might have feared. And soon enough, after the end of another 10 to 15 days journey, you were greeted once more by the sight of the fabled coastal city of Meletis in the distance. And bit by bit, you got closer to it. You, now that you are somewhat recognized as the defeaters of the Eater of Hope that sought to undermine Meletis with that cursed liquor, you were let back into your home, or at least to some of you, your home. And that is where we left off. So I'll kick things off with a little ambience I haven't used in a little while. A little bit of a coastal ambience, and yeah. As soon as you're beyond the gates, you feel that salty sea air, like, hit you. Like, it was there before, but the atmosphere of the coastal city hits you properly for the first time once you're beyond the city gates, and Bithynia and Xantia in particular are like, home. You guys have passed just beyond the city gates. The city is yours. After a long journey, what would you like to do?
I know Skotinos is eager to make a stop at the Lodge of Nelia, among other things.
Bithynia agrees. She's also interested in going there, and also seeing her old friend at the university and going to the bathhouse. She just has a list of places she wants to go and things she wants to do.
Did the Iron Scale Hydra have to go to the lodge, or did it need to go to the university?
The lodge.
It was lodge.
I believe so. Lodge. Well, the university, actually.
Yeah, so the person who contracted you, which, by the way, if anybody remembers his name, I would greatly appreciate it.
Smith.
What?
I just said Smith because that's my default.
He said he was going to put up a request in the Lodge of Nelia, but since you had asked him about it originally, he was quite happy to just go to you directly with him. He was like, oh, I was going to put up a thing, but if you're interested, I can just ask you about it.
We basically cut out the middleman.
Essentially, yes.
And other than that, Scotty will want to catch in on Penelope, and if we have any downtime, depending on what we end up doing, he's probably just going to continue practicing his alchemy proficiency.
Okay. So you guys head to the Lodge of Nelia first. Just confirming. Okay.
Yeah.
So, for the, for lack of a better term, newcomers. Oh wait, no, Helia, this is not your first time in the city, but you've only, you know, been here a handful of times, the most recent being when you came back with the party straight after, defeating the Eater of Hope. So, you're kind of still just sticking with them and sort of relying on them to navigate for the moment. Bakios, you have never been to Meletis. You've, you know a little bit about it, just, you know, in the same way anyone would know a few things about any city, just in terms of, like, its name, but you've generally not bothered to brush up too much as, I mean, the most you know is a reputation, for being highfalutin, highfalutin amongst the Akroan military, Meletis has a reputation for being fanciful, highfalutin Nancies that aren't too interested in real fighting and aren't too good at it either. The classic Sparta Athens sort of.
Pansies.
And Bithynia's gonna look over and say, Bakios, if you have any questions about anything, ask me. And if I don't know, I will get the answer for you. Don't touch anything.
The whole city, no touch anything. I love it.
Quick question. Where would I find the best wine in the city? And two, where would I find the easiest plunder? Because if what I know about this place, it would be pretty easy to roll over. I could
And
flex
Bithynia
one.
looks over, well, we might actually have something in common because this entire city is drowning in good wine.
Oh yes, not for long. Let's go.
Truly miss this place.
Do you ask about where the best plunder is, Bakios?
Oh yeah. In terms of I'm sort of keen to find out where I can get a drink and where there might be some, I don't know, easy to pick up items that somebody's not needing at the moment and just walk away with them.
Okay. I'll let you make an investigation check if you want to discern both of those things.
Okay, well that's a straight roll because my intelligence is 0, ladies and gentlemen.
Feed him false information.
I rolled a 2, so I rolled a 2.
Okay.
That's very
Then
barbarian.
Bithynia
thing to
looks
do.
over and she's like, it's better to ask for permission than forgiveness in this city.
What's forgiveness?
Well, it's not a
Oof.
2, I'll tell you that much.
Wow.
Oh.
I'm tempted to give you piety for that. Well, we'll see. We'll see if I may change my mind. So with a 2, for the first one, most of the people you come across are just like, so you guys are in the middle of the day. It's like 11 a.m/noon, so most people are just busy with the day's work, so they don't have much time to sit and give you directions. So you try to pass one older gentleman in a simple white kite, and he's lugging a big bundle of straw on his back, and he just literally just, "It's a big city, any tavern, don't bother me."
Well, that was rude.
With regards to the second one,
Yeah.
I'll say that they don't quite understand your request. So you go up to this one centaur, actually, who's a female centaur who's just in the middle of, just out on the street with almost like a merchant stall, and she's weaving various different textiles and fabrics. She doesn't quite understand your intent, and sort of just says, the Crucible sells fanciful things, if that's what you're after. And just kind of just looks at you a bit weirdly, and just goes back to weaving her textiles.
Alright then, clip clop, alright. Let's just walk off. Just dragging my axe behind me.
Bithynia's gonna go up. If you can't find anything, I can talk to my uncles. They're some kind of way, in similar ways to you, so...
I would very much like that. Thank you. Thanks, Bithynia. But apart from that, I'm good to just now vibe and see what everyone else wants to do.
Okay, so as you're investigating this, you guys make your way to the Lodge of Nelia. Bakios, you see, basically they lead you, they head and you follow. They head into the city a little bit, passing sort of these high observatories that are perched upon the highest of the, mountain feels like the wrong word, like a mountainlet, like these hillocks that are at the back of the sort of bayou that so this city is like built wedged between like these sort of like sloping cliffs on the coastline, and at the back of this sort of V shape are these large hills, and at the top of them are various observatories that you can see. You pass those, and before heading into the city proper, they veer off a little bit to the right. No, sorry, to the left. And sort of on a separate little hill, just still within the city's limits, but on its own and surrounded by a sort of grassy knoll, or grassy field, you see a sort of hunter's lodge, very clearly a hunter's lodge. You've seen ones like it, in terms of, it's built with thick logs and hides and woods layered over each other. This one is much larger than any you've seen. It's the size almost of like a manor, basically. What is surprising to the rest of you as well is you see about 100 Miletian hoplites sort of just stationed outside of it. And not like casually either. They're full on like bronze or like you see various different insignias and crests upon row after row of hoplon shields. Full heavy hoplite armor with the blue cloaks. Spears at the ready, just standing in formation, facing outwards from the lodge.
Okay.
I recognize any of those crests or those logos? I don't know.
Roll a perception check.
Perception. Okay.
I think while that's going on, I'm going to spend a few moments fishing through my robe and find my Daughters of Nelia pin that I don't wear nearly enough. And kind of like almost like hold it in my hand like a sigil or a sigil.
Very well.
Yeah, I rolled a 7. I don't think that looks good.
You don't recognize any of them in particular. I would say innately you do know that those kinds of crests tend to simply be either a family crest, if they are of a higher station, or sort of one of the more noble lines, and some of them might be a bit more recognizable in that way. But generally are simply a design selected by the soldier. Sometimes even simply because they thought it looked cool. They are... most hoplites in any polis are permitted to style their shield as they see fit. Observing certain parameters, certain designs may be restricted if they belong to a family of higher station. Other than that, there is some amount of free reign.
Bithynia, have you seen hoplites stationed like this before? I've never seen this. Certainly not at the lodge.
Well, my uncles were the ones who were primarily tasked with this kind of dealings. I spent the majority of my time at the university, but I could say that it wasn't like this when we left. But I can't say that it wasn't like this before in the past because the city does take its safety and security seriously.
I'm guessing Scatinos has never seen a setup like this. So this is substantially peculiar compared to what he's normally seen around the lodge. Yeah,
You've definitely not seen a small garrison being stationed outside the lodge before.
Scatinos is going to step forward. He's going to walk towards them and he's going to hold the pin in his hand and go.
One of them, who has a horizontal crest, which you recognize as being clearly the polemark, or the polemark is like a centurion, out of character, but the man in charge goes to say something, but sort of with a good eye, spots the badge ahead of time, and he relaxes a little, sort of just glances at his soldiers, and they don't lower their guard, but they sort of slack the grip on the spears slightly. He plants his spear in the ground and, not in a demanding way, but sort of just offers to inspect the badge.
I'll step forward, and I'll step forward. And as I hand it over, I go, something happened while we've been away in Nurcross.
Inspects it, satisfied. Welcome, member. Nothing has happened, per se. The Oracle has returned from her training, and wanted to pay visit to her adoptive sisters, and so we are an honor guard tasked to ensure the safety of the oracles as they grace our city with their visit.
Scatinos just has a big beaming smile now, as he's kind of put two and two together and he goes, I've wondered when she'd come back. It's all right, guys. It's all right. And I'm going to attempt to just go through.
Yeah. Well, so again, as you get closer as well, they reckon you guys cut a fine silhouette, so they recognize the red satyr and the axe wielding Leonin, and the girl with the winged helm, and you, Xanthia, you've a couple faces look familiar. You've fought alongside a couple of these people once or twice, so you guys, you're no strangers. Bithynia as well, as in particular. Bukios, just by the level of association, they assume you're cool too, so they permit you to pass. And you just weave your way through this cohort of, looking closely, it's about 100 fully armed and armored hoplites. And
And
as
Bithynia just walks through like absolutely nothing's wrong. Okay, come on.
Yep,
Dog.
they absolutely defer to you, Bithynia, in particular. They have high regard for someone of your profession. And as they part through, you get to the actual lodge proper, where there's that same sort of grassy courtyard outside that has different amenities like leather tanning stations outside as well. And just beyond the wall of hoplites, it's as completely normal. You see the sisters in various states of tanning hides, flint, like chipping arrows, and going about their business, with the exception of two silhouettes, one you recognize and one you don't. Amalia and Skotinos, you both recognize the dirty blonde hair, once matted to the point of almost resembling dreadlocks after years and years of living on an island, now has been washed and plaited and just made whole once more, and is sort of has been cut into a, not a bob per se, but it sort of just touches her shoulders. And it's, she tucks it behind her ears, and creates like a crown out of two braids that meets at the back. And yeah, you recognize her, Tanis. Before, you notice something different, though. Before, she would have a simple cloth to cover the fact that her eyes are not there anymore. Now she seems to have this beautifully ornate, gilded silver band that, almost like a sleeping mask, but sort of more, for lack of, out of character, almost like a Naruto headband, but it's like over the eyes, and is adorned with series of symbology of threads being woven back and forth. And at the very center, you see the symbol of Clothis. Remembering that Tanis, whom you recognize once more, is a oracle of Clothis. And she sort of just perks up, turns around, just looks at you with where you assume her eyes would be, and smiles really wildly. Skotinos! Amalia! And she just runs forward and gives you guys a big hug. And as she basically grabs both of you, you Scotty and you Amalia, and pulls you in real close and tight, you see standing behind her a woman who looks to be about late 20s to early 30s. Quite voluptuous, with a very low-cut dress that has a sort of like slit down the side to sort of leave one leg completely exposed. She has her hair sort of like in a messy bun that has sort of like these spirals that hang off of her and go down her head. And she sort of walks with an unnaturally enticing and soothing grace. And as you take her in, you can't help but be taken aback by her sheer beauty. I will see if I can pull up a picture for the player board.
And then Bithynia's gonna look over at Bacchios. Remember when I said don't touch anything? It includes in here.
But Ravinia, I mean, come on, there's only so much man can take.
And especially no plundering.
Keep him in check.
Oh man, do I not have that? 2 seconds, guys. I'm so sorry.
How is
I could have sworn I had it
Tanis's
before.
health otherwise? Like, does she seem far healthy? Like she looks like she's.
She looks far better. She looks like she's
Good.
eaten properly for quite some time. Like she's you know, been able to be shown the wonders of a good skincare routine. She's, you know, it's a real night and day situation. 2 seconds, guys. I'm so sorry about this. Yep, I went to the wrong section. Yeah, talk amongst yourselves.
Ophelia, how did you know what I was thinking? Are you psychic soon? Because I could have sworn, right, I didn't say a fucking word when I saw this lady, right? But you knew exactly where I was going.
Bithynia
Well,
looks over. Maybe
well,
more than
want
one
to go.
person in the room had the same thought.
Cool, so
Oh.
that is, in terms of a visual aid, that is what you see. If you go to the players board, you'll
Ooh, she's a tasty dish, isn't she?
she smiles you with the just an unnaturally warm and cheery smile. As yeah, basically Tanis leaves her to plant a hug on you guys, and she sort of just casually gets up in that sort of just like a almost effortlessly buxom way, and just basically saunters over to you guys. And you must be the fabled Tempest I have heard so much about. Tanis speaks very highly of you. I've listened to many of her tales, and she speaks often of how she sees you guys as you go on your journeys.
I kind of smile like warmly, and I kind of like lean in as I kind of like go for a bit like almost looks like a bit more of a fatherly hug, but I kind of lean next to Tanis and go, I hope you leave out all the really bad bits.
What's it worth to you?
And then I returned it into a big bear hug as well.
And as this other woman sort of steps forward, Bithynia, you do recognize her. You've not met her personally, but you have seen her once or twice at certain major functions. You know her name, her real name is Zoe, but to most, she is simply known as the Oracle of Glossion.
Bithynia's gonna step out, and because she's met her informally before, Oracle, Zoe, hello again. It's so good to see you here.
You remember, it's so good to see you too. She steps up to you, cups your face, and basically plants a full-on French kiss on you.
We're together, keep it together.
It's like a solid 5 seconds, and then she just breaks the kiss, and
just like pulls away. Just like, it's good to see you. What brings you to town?
well, I have been overseeing this one, and she points to Tanis. This one's progress in learning to master her abilities.
And?
She's doing very well. She has a very natural gift. And you guys spot for the first time, she, like many people, has a amulet around her neck that's sort of not quite heart-shaped, but sort of sloped in that kind of way. And you do see upon it the feminine face with the sort of long hair that fans out in an almost disc shape, sort of like almost like a Maybelline commercial, just like these strands and strands of hair weaving out to each other. And you recognize that as the holy symbol of Amaranthe, goddess of love.
She's gonna notice that. Okay, continue.
And yeah, you, Bithynia, you recall that Zoe in particular, all oracles get their, you know, much in the same way that piety works, get their foresight gifts from a specific deity, or they tend to sort of have a patron deity, an aspect deity. Zoe's is Amaranthe.
She's gonna look down, look back up, look down, look back, make eye contact, and be like, it's a fantastic deity that you have there. Is that new?
She across the medallion. Oh yes, thank you for noticing. It's a gift from a generous but deluded admirer. But it was gold gilded with platinum, so how could a girl say no? And she chuckles a self-aware, but also mirthful laugh.
Bithynia returns it. Ah, that's great. When will they ever learn? Never? Well, until then, keep collecting the jewels and gems.
Oh, right you are. But it's so nice to meet all of you finally. I don't know all of you. You are the fabled Amalia, I take it, and she, pulls you in close as well and basically gives you a, equally intense French kiss.
Hold it together. Hold it together.
And of course, who could forget the red satyr? And, yeah, so she basically, after polishing off Amalia and Skotinos, turns to you, Xanthia. I don't know that we've met.
I don't believe we have. I'm Xanthia.
Zoe, a pleasure. And she, doesn't plant a full-on French kiss on you, but she does kiss your forehead, and she introduces herself to you as well, Hilira, and you, Bakyos, and does the same thing. Plants a really tender peck on your foreheads. You get the sense that there may be levels of familiarity to, even for how an oracle of the goddess of love greets people. But yeah, she does, you know, even as she only lightly pecks the forehead of the three of you, she sort of like leaves her arm lingering on your shoulder, for example, Xanthia, and just, you know, lightly rubs your back, Hilira, in just like a way that you can't help but like giggle a little bit at, like a bashful teenager. She just seems to it's very clear why she's the oracle of the goddess of love. Yes, apologies for the armada behind you, but two oracles in one place, the Council of Melodies insisted on it.
Not at all. I think we just wanted to make sure that nothing bad had happened. Good to see that you've found your place. And he says, looking back down at Tanis.
Tanis nods. I was scared at first. I had this thing thrust upon me, and you know, I was born this way, and all it's ever done for me is take my eyes away and take my parents away and leave me stranded on an island for God knows how many years. But it's with me whether I like it or not, so I'm gonna own it and not let it own me.
We all carry our burdens, right?
She nods, and despite having completely obscured eyes, you almost feel like she's still seeing through you, in a way only an oracle can. But she nods, and the Zoe continues. I've done my best to keep the snapping hounds at bay. Meletis hasn't had an oracle in some decades. And, much less an oracle of the goddess of destiny, after all. There will be many who want a piece of her, and we all need to do everything we can to support her and make sure that they don't take everything from her. Put it that way.
That does remind me, actually, while you're here, Tanis, it's good to see that you now have a purpose and can see. I realised it was bad when I said it. You know what I mean? You know.
I can see a giant fucking hole you're digging.
Yeah, well,
And she chuckles.
that's me, right? But safe to say that I'm not worried for you anymore. I know you can look after yourself. And so I won't need this anymore. And I will reach into the jacket and I will pull out the vial of blood of Tanis that I still held. And I offer it back to her.
She takes it. Thank you. I don't know what to say. And she just kind of... She lobs it, like, straight for the sky, and then throws out a guiding bolt and basically just, like, clay pigeons it. That's, one thing the, priests of, Clothis have taught me. Action, not inaction or reaction.
Amadia just like...
She, oh sorry, just to finish off, and as she says this, she turns to you, Bakios. Right?
Right. There's one thing that Clothis hates more and over. It's somebody that sticks their finger up their arse and does fuck all.
I can see why she likes you.
Oh, thank you very much. That's really nice of you.
Mm-hmm. I, don't know, as in she actually, sorry, that's, retract that slightly. She turns and, Hilira, it's so good to finally meet you in person. Don't worry, I see things, that's how I know your name.
Okay, hi. Who are you again?
My name is Tanis.
Oh, okay.
I was born with, the gift of foresight, and you know what an oracle is, Hilira. After all, your own queen of Akros was an oracle of Keranos, the god of storms. And yeah, all of you have heard of the oracles. And so she explains, Clothis blessed me with the gift of foresight, but the ship I was bound for was attacked and I wound up living like an animal on an island for many years. But, these guys chanced across my island and brought me home. Or I think this is home. I don't know where I came from anymore. But I know where I am now. And so I use my gift to check in from time to time. And you actually clock. She's about... Hilira, you're like 22. Sorry, I'm so sorry. I know you've said this before.
Yeah, I'm 22.
She's about 5 years younger than you, sort of like rough. Like she looks to be about sort of 17, and she... But already seems to carry an aura of just maturity that is unsettling. Like, in a good way, but it is unsettling. And you, Xanthia. I'm glad they
Yeah.
have you. They're going to need you.
Thank you. Well, I hope I can offer the assistance that is needed.
She takes your hand and sort of like cups it in hers. At that second, the wind picks up. And out of nowhere, Tanis, like she stands, like basically her hair fans out behind her, almost like, and just full-on banshee, like spreads in all directions. Zoe is taken aback, but sort of has a knowing look, and Tanis just, in that moment, as this wind picks up, you like see light begin to glow from behind her headband, or like her like eye band, almost as if like it's like seemed to bleed out from where her eyes would be obscured by the band. And she just clutches you and just pulls you in with a surprising strength, Azanthia, and just says, "Water, quenched in fire, shall forge the path to redemption." And like this, like hoarse, unnatural, like an unnaturally hoarse voice. But then, quickly as it came, the wind dies down, and she staggers and drops to her knees, and like just almost like into a ball, and seems to be just in a small panic attack. At that moment, boom! Like the door busts open, a familiar 6'5" blonde-haired beast of a woman comes bounding down. But so Zoe's already comforting Tanis, and it's okay. It's okay. Just remember, let it flow, and just let it. And Tanis is crying ever so slightly, and
So sorry.
it's okay. We do not control the gift of foresight. We are merely its humble guide. Learning to relinquish control is something that takes time, and until it does, it can take its toll to channel. That was unexpected. Then again, most glimpses are. After a moment, Galatea, like, she acknowledges you, Scotty, and, like, she smiles at you just enough to know, like, I am not ignoring you. But sort of, like, comes down and, like, puts herself by Tanis as well. She just stands up to her full height, turns to Zoe and says, "What did you do?" "I did nothing, my dear. The gods saw fit to grace us with a glimpse of events to come." You can tell that Galatea just, her glare lingers a moment longer, but she seems to decide against anything and just turns back to Tanis. Tanis is now sort of stood up and says, "I'm fine. Sorry, it's, when it happens, it's like a bucking horse. Sometimes you get thrown off, and it hurts, but I'm okay." She, dries the, sort of, the tears that have formed just sort of underneath the headband, and just in a moment, just, "Sorry, it's, this thing is cool and all, but it's a bit tight," and she just unbuckles it and just lets it hang free, and, those of you who hadn't already seen it before see for the first time just the heavy scar tissue and the black sockets.
Have they, as I've seen them, this has been the first time, the last time we saw them, they looked, as well as the scars, that there was evidence of them kind of being, I forget how it was, but not disease, but they looked like they were still wounded.
If that's what I said, then I misspoke. So, when you first saw them, it was sort of scar tissue at that point as well.
Okay.
It had healed a long time ago. Likely it happened. Well, Tanis explains that. Tay explained that it happened the night that her ship sank.
Okay.
And so it definitely, could have healed a lot better had it been dressed properly, but it no longer...
It's pretty much exactly the same when we first saw it.
It's exactly the same, yeah. She relaxes for a second, and Galatea turns and pulls you up and plants a big wet kiss on you, Scotty.
I melt into the moment and everything's fine.
Yeah, you're the one of your hooves sort of like goes up, like in that sort of like that leg pop kind of thing.
Does I always feel like it's like well, the other one is kind of was like doing like the thumper, like tap, like clopping.
Oh yeah.
Excitedly on the floor.
Yep, the tippy taps are real. The tippy taps are
Yep,
absolutely real.
indeed.
But she breaks the kiss, and we have much to discuss. Tell me everything, and she
Wow.
yeah, she is. But first, this one promised me we'd go hunting. And Tannis says, I'd love to, Galatea, but we won't be able to hunt with 100 soldiers. And
Hey, if you need a way to slip the nest for a few minutes.
Zoe interjects, as supportive of that as I would be, you would send this entire city on full alarm.
Oh, that does sound a lot of fun, though. Maybe next time.
Maybe next time for sure. Once they've gotten over how precious she is. And
I mean, we do have the Staff of Illusions, right? How long does illusion last?
I promise you there is no illusion I can't see through, and I would be required by law to. And I'm sorry, but rest assured we have some functions to attend, but afterwards I will personally see to it that she gets time to be herself. The orange-haired one also made it a personal insistent and made certain assurances of large explosions towards the city's nobility if that didn't transpire.
Good on him.
Right, so as this progresses, Tannis promises that you guys will catch up properly soon enough, but she does have some business that she's required to attend to at this point. You get the sense that she's rapidly becoming a celebrity. Yeah, Bithynia, you would know that just by virtue of being a brainiac, the last Oracle of Meletis was about 40 years ago. Passed away. Meletis has historically almost always had an oracle, and it's always been an oracle of Ephara. It was taken as a sign of favor from the gods of this sort of consistency, because on average there are maybe 5 oracles at any one time, in general. The absence of one for about 40 years was many of the more superstitious have took that as an ill omen, a sign that the city had fallen out of disfavor, and you sort of thinking about that understand that, yeah, a oracle showing up would get a lot of people interested. Some with benevolent naivete, thinking the god's blessing has returned. Others, maybe with less than altruistic motives, but as is the case for Meletis, the good and the bad. But Tannis excuses herself, and Zoe assures that Tannis will be well looked after. And don't worry, I've been doing this since I was a small child. I will have them wrapped around my finger in no time. And yeah, as she just walks away, you believe her. And the garrison too basically forms a phalanx of sorts, like a casual phalanx around them, and escorts them, full on like Kingsguard style, but like 100 of them.
That's wow.
But yeah, Scotty, are you choosing to remain in the Lodge of Nelia?
Yeah, I'll probably offer to stay around and catch Galatea up with everything that's happened, and invite anyone that wants to stay that can stay, or do other things.
Okay.
I know you had other I know, Finn, you wanted to go to the lodge. I've not seen Galatea in ages. I'll probably just stay here for the night or so, and I'm sure I'll catch up with you all. I don't shoot. Look, entirely accurate slander in your mind right there. Yeah. If you need me,
Yes.
leave it till tomorrow.
But yes, Bakios, you know that. Also, you were told that the Crucible will be somewhere that has wondrous things. And so that's what you're told. Would anybody like to do anything else in particular?
Can I look for, like, people that scream the news? A newsstand, the newspaper, something news.
Sure. It's, fuck it, why not? You see a, small, satyr boy with a series of, like, wax tablets. And, he looks at, you know, what appears to be his mother, both sort of dressed in sort of leafy dawn greet style attire. The mother is playing on an aeolus to attract attention, and the boy is the one selling the, wax tablets. Yeah, so it cost you 2 silver.
Okay.
So I'll mark
I
that
will
off,
go
but what are you looking for in particular?
Just any news on, like, is there anything in the news about what we did in Tethmos? Something about, anything we did? Something about Akros?
Nothing in Tethmos, although you do, read tale of the, mini, tournament. Or sort of like mini, like, almost like, yeah, like a battle arena style tournament in the grand battle arena of Akros, the Temple of Triumph, going swimmingly, like a grand success, and, Queen Regent Taranika, having her position sort of more assured as a result.
Quick question, Mr. DM.
Yeah?
Would Bokios know personally the Queen with my position previously in Akros?
You
Would
would
I
not...
have known her personally?
Okay, so, interesting point. Queen Regent Taranika? Yes. Purely because she's sort of, first and foremost, a general / or soldier. And she has stepped into the position recently. I would say you know innately that, through hearing rumors, you know, you keep up some tabs on your own city. You recall that, the monarchy has been in a bit of a state of turmoil. Recently, King Anax, passed away, and his wife, Queen, Simide, has disappeared, and she was an oracle of Keranos. So... Their niece was Taranika. The king's niece is Taranika, and she's basically stepped into the position, and she rules alongside. So Akros is a dynarchy, as in there are 2 kings at any one time, sort of 2 separate royal families, and she rules alongside King Cretheus, who is an older man who is a bit more stuck in his ways, and she's that's as much as you can recall.
Oh, thank you. Yep.
So nothing fun about Akros in the news.
Nothing in particular yet. Nothing in particular, no. Just that wasn't the tournament went along swimmingly. You see the winners announced, and
Do I recognize any names?
roll a history check.
Ah, fuck. Okay. Oh, that was great. That's a natural 16, 21.
Yeah. You see one name that sort of pops out at you, that is quite familiar. Eudokia. She's not the only name amongst there, but, she was part of the group that, took the final prize.
Oh, that's so cute. Okay. Okay. I'll put it in the recycling bin and go with Bithynia to whatever she wants to go.
Okay, cool. So, the city is yours. What would anybody else like to do?
Xanthia would like to visit her aunt and uncle, I think. And if anyone else wants to come with, because they don't have a place to stay at overnight, they sure can come.
Just have a question. Where are you keeping the, head of the trident you found?
Yes, I still have that.
As in, where are you keeping it?
I think I just have it. I just added it to my equipment.
I meant in
my
character on your
backpack.
person. So just in... Okay, cool. Just
Yeah.
staying aware of that. Sorry, squeaky sounds.
Yeah, it should just be in my backpack.
Okay.
Yeah.
It isn't just on your backpack. Fair enough. Amalia, is there anything in particular you wanted to do?
Well, I was gonna go to the Temples of Erebos and sort of light a candle, and then I wanted to go to the gym.
Easy enough. So you we can just say you did that. That's easy enough to do. Bithynia, you okay? So Xanthia, you're heading to see your aunt and uncle. Is there anything in particular you wish to do with them?
Basically, just ask them what she missed
Hmm.
while she was away, like in the city or just in general. And potentially also show them the head of the trident to just find out if they know anything.
Okay. Bithynia, and is there anything in particular you'd like to? I'll play these all out in a moment. I'm just
No, I just wanted to see my friend at the university, and then also go to the bathhouse cleanup.
Okay. Easy enough to do. So we'll start with you then, Bithynia. So you make your way back into the Decatia, easy enough, and just you catch the air, that familiar smell of the university, and you're just like, even more so, home. And easy enough, you find Aristophanes in particular, right?
What was that?
Aristophanes, the one who looked up
Oh,
the
yeah,
information. Oh yeah, you find him in the transmutation department. Basically toiling away on some other different project of his, and he just sort of turns. He's like seems to be concentrating on this little figurine. He's like got massive beads of sweat on his brow, and he's like, and just like almost like dropping away. Let's go, and all of a sudden, like the little figurine expands to like this, like it's actually what it actually was, which was a full-size statue, and just shatters on the ground. He's like, "Damn it!" He just like checks an hourglass. Okay, strenuating pain, and it only bought me 30 minutes worth of time shrinkage. Back to the drawing board. He just turns and then sees you. Bithynia! Hey! You're home safe. It's good to see you. Pulls you into a big hug.
Hello, hi. Am I interrupting something here?
Nothing, fruitful. What can I do for you? It's good to see you. How did that business, end up?
Concluded, I think. TBD. Is the person's work ever done? I don't know, but
That's
thank
really
you.
good to
I
hear.
just wanted to Thank you so much for your help. Always a pleasure.
I wish I could take the credit. Elspeth herself stepped in, and, I don't need to tell you, no one says no to Elspeth. I mean, Christ, we walk past her mural every day.
well, all I know is that I was able to get through to you, and you were able to make the connection that was needed, so that is what was appreciated.
Well, anything I can do.
There's one thing I've learned in academia, it's as long as you cite your source, you can use it and get credit.
Very well remembered. Well, again, I'm really glad I could help. I like doing what I can to help.
Yeah. So it was pretty wild. We had some, we were able to acquire the things that we needed and a little bit more. I have some items that I'll have to have examined here at the university that I wasn't exactly able to get the full information on.
Oh, what items would those be?
And then she's like thinking like, I'm pretty sure I have them out on Plummet, who's outside, so I'll have to get back to you on that. But I don't know if, yeah.
Well, yes, the Lorehold division may be able to look into that, obviously, or obviously you're there's no researcher quite like you, but
There's some stuff that's Triton related, I believe, and even with the Triton on board with us, I don't think that we got all the information that we needed from it.
Fair enough. That fiery-headed fellow, what's his name? He he deals with magical items, does he not? Maybe he knows something.
There's going to be someone here who knows something.
Of course, this is Meletis.
Yeah, and then there will be me, and there will be more than one person who knows about it.
I don't know if there is anyone who knows things quite like you, though.
There are things that I don't know, and things that I'm going to find out so that I do know them.
Exactly. But yeah, please, in future, always let me know if there's anything I can do to help. Well, that's not going to... You know what, I could use a break. I'm starting to see triple here. What are your plans now?
You're avoiding my question. Are you familiar with the fact that the Oracle's in town?
Oh, I didn't actually hear you ask that question. I apologize. And that's the DM talking. Yes, it was announced ahead of time. It was big news. You know, many of the city's more patriotic citizens are excited at the notion, and although from what I've heard in passing, they are a little disappointed it wasn't another Oracle of Ifara. But you know, honestly, I think it's good. The city needs a bit of a shake-up. I don't envy her. Poor thing, what is she, 16, 17?
I didn't exactly ask for her age, but now, thinking about our interaction, maybe I should have.
Yeah, that's a young age to have such a limelight thrust upon you. I was in Glaucion like 3 years ago, and the Temple of Amaranthe always has a queue a mile long of citizens needing to have their fortune told. I don't know how that woman does it.
I don't know, but I imagine that there's a reason she was selected, like the rest of us, for our path that we're on, so let's just be blessed and fortunate that it isn't us.
Suppose we must all count our blessings, you're right. But yes, I knew that she was in town, but
Is there anything else that happened? We've been out of town for a while. Is there anything else that we should be aware of in town?
there was a Monkishan vessel that pulled into the docks. I think that was yesterday.
What vessel?
Amonkhet. Out of character, you know, Amonkhet is a nation, or sort of like a region on the southern continent adjacent to Hasira, that out of character would be a stand-in for Egypt. in this setting. And is in fact its own Magic the Gathering plane like Theros is, but I'm sort of doing some fuckery to expand the world. Yes, curious vessel. But, I haven't investigated that too much. That was really the only thing. I haven't spoken much to anything on the political side of things. You know me, I keep my distance. I just have to focus on what I'm good at. But, yes, I wish I could add more to offer in terms of useful information, but that's really it that I know. But don't take my word for it. You know, I'm just little old me. I'm Aristophanes. I'm sure if you ask around, there would be more people who might know something else. I'm a bit of a shut-in.
Nope, you've given me plenty to go off of. I appreciate you. Home or abroad.
I mean, I could use a walk. I'll go with you.
Yeah, fantastic. Unless you want to teleport us around, but a walk works.
Happy medium. And he snaps his fingers and casts fly.
Zoop.
Cool. Whilst you guys soar off, Xanthia, you are, your aunt and uncle both pull you in close, big hug. Your, uncle, who has, more guppyish design, sort of like a, kind of like catfishy type mouth and sort of big whiskers. Your aunt, however, having just a series of, asymmetrical fins going down her back and sort of like, almost resembling like 10 mohawks kind of thing. Both smile at you. "'Tis good to see you safe, dear."
So good to be back and see you both.
I, inquired to some of the authorities about your whereabouts, and, they put me in touch with some fellow at the Decatia who, had spoken to your friend Bithynia. Nice fellow, unhealthy obsession with shrinking things. But his name was Aristophanes. But yes, he told me I've spoke to Bithynia and that, you were on some dangerous mission. I hope it all went well.
Yes. I hope so too. It hasn't been easy exactly. And I was hoping that maybe you two could provide some knowledge. So Xanthia starts looking for the trident head in her backpack, pulls it out, and presents it to them.
She pulls it out. They take it. It's beautiful. It's... They sort of scratch it slightly. Where did you get this?
So, I don't know how much you've heard, but...
I've not heard anything. I know you're in Oreskos. The Leonin keep things very close to the chest.
Yes. One of my friends, Amalia, we had to seek out her father and stop him from reaching the heart. And he was somehow possessed by an ice titan, I believe. And he had... I don't know how he managed to do that, but he froze me for quite some time. And
I suppose the powers of an ice titan might do that.
Still did not expect that. And when we finally managed to slay him, this thing came flying to me. It's like it called out to me. But I just can't make any sense of it.
If it called out to you, I might encourage prayer, but... That's a little, reductive. And he seemed to be channeling his ice powers through it?
I believe so, yes.
Well, I can't imagine he would go to such trouble instead of forging his own focus unless it was worth it. You don't do something like this unless it's worth it, so there must be something hidden, some hidden property about this we don't know. Hey, we got a Yach here. Hey, Go Gaming Syndicate, welcome, welcome. I mean, it is definitely of our people, but I don't recognize it in practice. It's not even made out of bronze or iron. I mean, as cliche as it sounds, that fellow, the forge child of Purfuros, the one who runs that famous smithy. If anyone knows anything about crafting things, it would be him, I would wager.
Yes, I will seek him out. Thank you.
On that note, so at this point I'll say about a couple hours have passed. Amalia, you, as you're basically in the gym training after having sort of said your prayers, you hear a, voice just ring out in your head. So, hey, it got back to me, you guys are back in town. Come say hi. That's it.
I'm kind of like doing my little box. My eyes sort of go like, and then I kind of look around, and then I'm like, oh, hold on a second, he did that in my head. Okay.
How many words is that? I think you have like... You can respond to this message.
I love if that was the response in that. That's brilliant.
That is the response. Yeah. That is the message you hear. So, I'll check in now with Hilira. Are you doing anything in particular at this time? You guys have all sort of branched off. Are you,
Well, I was planning on following Bithynia, but then she left me. So I'm just gonna, like, wander around for a bit. Maybe
Okay.
go to...
I was so
Penelope?
thinking that. I was like,
Well, so you could have gone... You could have followed Bithynia still. I don't think she would have left you. It's not like she can outrun you.
No, it's
No,
fine.
but
I was
we
probably
teleported.
reading
We
the
flew.
paper. Yeah, they flew away, so it's fine. I was reading the paper. I got distracted. It happens a lot. I'm
No
just
problem.
gonna wander over to Penelope's.
Yeah, it's easy enough to do. Do you want to do anything particular, Penelope's?
No, I'm just gonna annoy her.
Okay. And we'll check back in with that in a second. Bithynia, are you looking for anything in particular? Okay. In that case, is there anything anyone else would like to do in particular? Just whilst the city is yours.
That spoke in my head, so it would be kind of rude not to go see him. So
Okay.
I imagine Scottinus would join eventually, but he's probably currently
That's
busy.
okay. It's been at least a couple hours or so, so it's easy enough to say that after maybe a couple hours, you guys going about your various different businesses convene again and arrive outside the Crucible after maybe a couple messages from Helira corresponding and stuff like that. You all gather together outside this structure. Bakios, you've never seen it before. It's a very nice... It's not like the largest house you've ever seen, but it's still a nice, fairly large house. The front does appear to be like a shop out on a street of shops, but there's sort of like a penthouse on the top of it. You sort of see further back a very large chimney stack that seems to be constantly erupting smoke. And a sign outside says just the Crucible. And as you guys step inside, you see the familiar shop of the Crucible. Bakios, you are greeted by basically a sort of 30 by 40 foot shop that has a pillar at the center, wall to wall, every kind of weapons and armor imaginable. This place is just like, it's like a hoarder's wet dream, but of armaments. Some things are in special cases that look unique or special, but it's definitely just a cornucopia of weapons and medallions and other scrolls and other things just crammed into every corner haphazardly. You all turn at the counter and you see a familiar, lean half-nymph male with hair the color of almost glowing fire that's sort of cascading down his face. Eyes like two burning hot coals, or as in his irises at least. And he seems to be in the middle of a discussion. Just across the counter, and you guys said, yeah, these should do nicely. Thank you so much. And he sort of pulls out of his bag out of the bag on the counter, a series of beautiful corals that are being sort of handed to him by a female triton with black hair. Who's just sort of standing there. She's got an abacus with her and seems to be doing a bit of counting, and is sort of just dressed in a sort of simple red dress. But sort of hearing the door open, Daxos turns, smiles at you guys all, and the female triton sort of turns as well and smiles at you guys also, and goes to greet you.
Hi there, guys. It's been a while. I sort of was expecting you a little bit earlier. I think that Rhea had a message for you guys, something about Ganassi. But you'll be happy to know that your merchandise is selling really well, and I have some gold for you if you're willing to come and collect it from my shop. But yeah, how are you?
I am sorry, Paige. I tried so hard to steer them. I did not think they just, like, in true Tempest fashion, they just fucked up and did not follow what I said.
I'm sorry. I was just like, you said it, and I was like, I said that, I was like, but there's a Blizzard account attached to this name. It's like, no, there can't be. Yeah,
I thought you were being so sneaky.
I literally just sent him a text message that read, "Shut your whore mouth."
Yeah, pretty much. I tried to come over going, oh, yeah, I see what you mean. Oh.
Yeah, I wanted to surprise you guys. Yeah, for those of you who are tuning in, the lovely Paige agreed to come back to reprise as Eslin. And I am so sorry I didn't have time to make a tag, but Paige, if you send me the artwork once more, I will make sure to share it on screen in the stream.
It is very pretty. I have her as an NPC for my campaign, and I'm desperately in love.
Please send it to me on either Instagram or WhatsApp, because I cannot use Discord right now.
Struggling as hard as I can, but bear with me. I will put it in Discord for the boys and girls.
Oh no, I can't tab away out of Discord because I'm doing window capture on the live stream. I'll need it on Instagram if that's alright.
Don't you worry, I will send it to you on Instagram.
But yeah,
yeah, I guess we know Eslin lives here, so it's not quite as much a surprise that we were going to bump into her as it is for the players. I'm guessing.
I know. Do you hate me?
Yeah, but yeah, so we can't remember going, Eslin. It's been
forever. Are you guys injured at all? Like, do you need anything? Food, money.
With your passive perception, Eslin, I will say that a new person amongst them seems to have a septum piercing that maybe isn't quite healing as well as she had hoped.
Oh, yeah, I can do that. Hi, I'm Eslin. Who are you?
Hi, I'm Hilira.
Hi.
You're very close to me right now.
I am sorry. Yeah. Hi.
I'll kind of like step in and interrupt and go. It's okay. This is a big shock. We travelled with Eslin when we well, for a while actually. Part of Eslin was part of Tempest. some time ago. I mean, actually, how much time has passed? I see. Has it just been like a week or a few days?
No, it's
or...
been like 2, nearly 3 months.
Okay, it has been a while. Sort of, coming up to 2 and a bit months now. And I guess I suppose we knew we were going to see you, but it just got off.
I hear what you said, Violet. What did you say?
Oh, except I'm just telling Hilira that you're a good person and that's all like you.
Oh, yes. Like generally okay.
Oh shit,
causes
that's
trouble
way too
sometimes.
white.
But yeah. Hi guys. Can I measure you up for some new merchandise at some point? Like the Temper stuff's been selling really well since you sort of like saved Melodies.
If you guys go to the players board, you'll see it.
Is this so we now actually have a merchandise line?
I did say I was setting one up. If you
I guess, but I
going
just
to be-
was surprised. I guess I forgot about it, and
But I can't keep the fluffy Amalia plushies in stock at the moment. It's been really, really difficult. And the axe comes separately because it's a good way to make extra coin. But yeah, hi. So yes, the Ganassi thing. I'll have to maybe like show you something to say the thing that I mean to say. But yeah, oh, you wanted to speak to Dax. I'll just be quiet, and then I'm just gonna give like Amalia the biggest like hug going.
Oh, and Amalia,
These
you
continues is just like frozen. Like this is all very like quite a lot, and when you kind of step back, it's just met with silence because we're kind of just going, right, yeah.
As she hugs you tightly, Amalia, you are suddenly you remember something that Eslin might want to know. That transpired about 10 days ago now, when everything went down.
Oh, by the way, I killed my dad. Well, they did.
Oh, I mean, good for you. I thought we were looking for you. No, the poison, the henbane. I'll be honest with you. You never really explained. So good for you. If you meant to kill him, I'm sorry if you didn't.
Okay, just because otherwise this is gonna hurt me. You also remember the other thing, yeah?
Also, I killed the person that killed Ganassi.
Oh, I mean, that's really important. It might have been worth a sending spell, but it's okay. I love you still.
I kind of saw red and kind of went for it. Like it wasn't like a,
So what was it? Because like they said it. Have we had a word with? Oh, what's her name? Head of the guard. She said he was dead. She's a liar. We deserve a refund.
Okay,
on some of
Molpadia,
our information.
DM is gonna step in and say that Molpadia did not in any way say that it was dead at all.
Well,
she did say that everything had stopped
yeah,
because
the problem had left,
I checked my Eslin notes.
Yeah.
Oh, the killings had stopped, but
yes. Well, so I guess, so perhaps like he stopped it happening there was close enough, but whether or not it had been defeated was ambiguous because there was never any body of the thing, I suppose.
And plus, he makes illusion, so he could have made an illusion that made it look like something else when, it wasn't there.
Okay. All right. Yeah, that's weird. But yeah, no, I'm really happy for you. Well, I'm really happy for. Well, it'd be better if he was alive, but I'm glad that he's dead. Not Ganassi, the guy, the evil guy.
I think they figured that.
Sometimes it just helps to be really, really clear.
Not gonna argue with that. Some new faces since last time you guys were in.
Oh yeah, these are some good eggs.
Are we having an omelette?
Well, we may need to crack some later.
Daxos zeroes in on you, Bakios, and says, "You, my friend, look like the kind of person who can be persuaded to spend stupid amounts of money on very large weapons. I'm gonna like you."
Oh yeah, I've got 10 whole drachmae on me. What can I have?
A sit down is what you can have.
Oh.
And you need to save money. My really cool axe is from here. Just saying.
Oh, actually, that's a good point. Do you buy things as well?
I can if it's worth my while.
Guys, I tried using that great axe with the tree, and I can't use the thing. I'm surprised I knocked the tree down. I struggled to hold the damn thing. If none of us want it, we might see if we can trade it for something else. Maybe. Yeah.
Great axe?
Yeah. Hang on, and I'll bring it out. And it's covers fashion, kind of hold it over. And I then point to the point on the hilt where the trigger word is and go, makes a big tree.
He just
not
like
a real
holds
wind.
his finger up to you, just like sets the axe down, just waves one hand, his eyes flare
yes.
up.
Yep.
And like,
That's a bit easier. Yes,
poor
that
child.
makes sense.
He
Yep,
just says to you,
I do
poor
forget.
child. Well, the enchantment certainly makes up for the fact that it's a fucking logging tool. Interesting. I could maybe flog this for some profit, yeah. Were you hoping for monetary compensation or a trade?
We'll see what you've got, and maybe we'll that's we can use that as part payment or whole payment. We'll start with whole payment and go from there.
I mean, I've got various different things that would sort of be comparable in terms of cost. If you give me something to go off of, but you know what? Have a browse at any point. Tell me if there's anything you like, and then we can maybe work something out. I hope you didn't come all this way just for an axe.
I think it was good. It's always good to catch up. I just know that this was going to just stay stuck in this sort of in this backpack for too long, so I wanted a reason to kind of put it to better use.
All right, we'll put that. We'll park that and then look back into that.
And then Scotinus is going to go back and he's going to just browse of his own accord and let everyone else catch up and chat. And he's just looking at he's probably looking at yet more vials.
Mm-hmm.
I'll be honest.
Daxos zeroes in on you as well as Anthea says, "Don't know if we've met."
No, I'm Xanthia.
Yeah, you've seen him around, but you've never met him in person. He's hard not to notice. His hair, it looks like molten lava is cascading down his head. Not like literally, but his hair is like the color of fire. I don't know if I've ever shown you a picture in particular, Xanthia, but I will put one in the players board for the purposes of this.
Cool.
Image. Oh yeah, because players would never have seen it. The audience would never have seen it either. So this is the official artwork. This is the artwork I put together from Legends of Daxos. So yeah, that's the individual you basically see before you, and
Eyes hot.
Thank you, my friend. I see you both got swept up with this lot as well. They have a habit of assimilating people. He jokingly gestures to himself as well.
Yes.
Well, I was found in a cave by this one, pointing to Hilaria, and I don't know, she reminds me of home, so I thought I'd help her out for a bit, and then I ended up killing a fuck-off big-ass barbarian who was better than me, and I spent all my money on wine.
Daxos leans into you, Eslin, and says, "Do you think they polymorphed that basset hound that you gave to Thistlespine?"
I wouldn't have thought that. That's a bit weird.
Just that this guy reminds me of it, like in that sort of puppy dog kind of way.
Oh, wouldn't say that. She was ancient. She was a really old dog, anyway.
Hey, magic, right? I'm just kidding.
Actually, a tall guy, would you like a cloak I have? It sort of like lingers around. It's quite helpful.
Lingers around.
It's sort of
You
I
love
have
that
no
thing,
use for
Aslan.
it. I love it, but I have no use for it. I am fully retired, happily married, just existing, selling things. So if he has no magical items, he could have it, right?
I mean, it's not mine to give away, of course he can. Just, always surprised by your sheer altruism.
I mean,
You're giving me
when
something for free?
I mean, if you want to help me carry things, like at some point, that would be really helpful. Like if ever you're in Melodies, that would be great. But to be fair, like I'm pretty good. Like I'm minted.
Considering the
that's
cloak
so
she's
nice.
about to give you, my friend, I would agree to carry her stuff whenever she wants the rest of her life.
Oh, that's really generous. Of course, that sounds really nice.
As Daxos, for those of you who never met him before, his laugh sounds like crackling embers almost. And you watch Bakio says, Aslan, would you have it with you?
I wouldn't, but I do have to go back and get their money anyway from my shop, so I'll probably just go away for about 10 minutes and
Okay.
go grab stuff.
Just before you do, sort of as you guys are having this conversation, Daxos says, well, aside from the social visit, of course, how else might I be of service?
Did we not have anything that we wanted to be identified, or did have we already done that with all the things that we have?
You've identified everything because Bithynia can identify things with her ritual caster feat. There was only the one thing that she couldn't identify.
That's right, yes.
Being the trident, just
Yeah.
to clarify.
Well, we haven't heard much about what's happening in town since we've been gone.
Since you've been gone.
I was hearing that in my head too. I don't know what it is. It's just some phantom earworm. We met up with Tanis. She's doing well. That went well.
Good.
I'll try to pronounce the probably Daxos more, Good Gaming Syndicate, because no, it's not duck sauce, and I swear to God, if that catches on, I will turn you all to ash.
Duxos.
That catches...
Oh.
Daxos is gonna cast Disintegrate.
Yeah, no, it's fair. Yeah, when we last saw her, she was finding a place with the daughters. She definitely, I think she misses the hunt. But
I think she misses being totally free. Don't worry, I know a little something about what it's like to, have your entire existence planned out before you could even take your first steps, so, as long as I have anything to say about it, she'll get to make every single one of those choices herself.
Thank you.
I, personally told a couple of the, nobles exactly what would happen, if they kept being pushy. They're not too keen on a, new volcano appearing where their house used to be, so... They complied. But, we'll have all the time to talk about this, over drinks and dinner. I'm sure we'll, go out and make an evening of it. Other than that, my, shop is yours, and, yeah, what can I do for you?
Okay, I know I've not got any money, but, you know, have you got anything that I might want to save up for in the axe department? I mean, Amadi's got this big fuck-off axe, right? And it grows up to 3 times its size, and it's very emasculating. So,
Okay,
do you
are you sure? Did you not also get reimbursed by Nuzra's Longspeaker for the.
No, I didn't get any. I don't deserve any of that.
Let's see what we can find that works well for you.
But
We did the same thing with Bithynia, and the is the phrase "return of investment." He says, looking to Duxos like questioningly. It's been pretty good. So we'll see if we can find something that works. I'm sure we can club together a little.
Question, just sorry, Xanthi, are you holding the thing in the trident in your hands, or then like are you just to clarify?
Sure.
Just in case, you know, just DM cognizant of player, it was in like, you know, affording everyone the opportunity. Were you aiming to?
Yeah. I'll turn to Daxos and also if you could spare a moment to take a look at this maybe.
Holy shit.
Oh shit.
Takes it, spins it. Eslin, there is an immediate moment of recognition for you, and you suddenly reckon you should hurry home pretty quick.
Where did you get that?
You recognize it?
It's one of Thassa's holy relics. Of course I'd recognize it.
Daxos looks at you for a second.
Oh, dang.
And then he basically... And then you watch as he casts Legend Lore. And his eyes just... his eyes just, like, erupt. And he just... elements of it remind you of what happened to Tanis, but this feels a lot more controlled. As in, he seems... It's like a bigger version of Identify, and he's sort of... And then he just, like, staggers back for a moment. She's right. This is the head of Dekela. The first Dekela.
Trident of Thassa, wielded by her herself.
Out of character real quick, in my world it's a trident because it's fucking stupid that a sea goddess would have a bident. That is the weapon of Hades, and that's always pissed me off. Moving on. Seriously, imagine if, like, in a Harry Potter remake, they made an axe of Gryffindor instead of the sword of Gryffindor. You'd be like, why? There was no reason.
Yeah, well, there is one reason. The sword of Gryffindor in the movies look shit.
I
yes,
mean,
but you can make a
there's
cool-looking
no
sword. You don't need to turn. You don't need to turn it into an axe. Anywho, that's Daxos basically carries on to say it was her first weapon. During the period, during the period historians refer to as the Silence of the Gods, a Triton appeared impersonating the mariner Calafe. Calafe is a figure of legend. She would be out of character stand-in almost for Odysseus in many ways. She was a famous navigator. This imposter traveled the waves aboard Calafe's living ship, the Monsoon. She misled her people with false prophecies and pulled a kraken from its depths, hoping to harness its power. Thassa returned to the world and was so furious that she struck her trident against the earth, destroying the imposter. She struck the earth with such fury that she shattered her weapon. This weapon. He sort of touches his holy medallion, which you see has the symbol of Purphoros on it, the smith god. Purphoros, remembering Thassa, having Thassa's kindness to him on many occasions, replaced her sacred weapon. But I guess elements of the original still survive. He sort of holds it up and just flicks it, and just like this almost alien metal chime rings out that just doesn't sound like anything you've heard of. Just the perfect a little worn down over the what I have to assume is millennia. But, just taps it. Still as sharp as ever.
I don't suppose, I mean, if you think this is the right time to ask everyone, but I don't suppose you've heard of the name Ethra before.
He's gonna roll a history check. Natural 19. What is Daxos's history? One sec, I did not expect to have to pull up his character sheet. One moment. I deeply apologize. So that is a natural 19 plus 3, so 22. I've heard of that name before. There are many, she's a Titan aspect. Lesser idols that were created, I guess, as lieutenants during the War of the Titans. Not even deities can be everywhere at once, so they created generals and other sort of lesser idols to supplant their power and marshal their forces. Ethra was one of Criotelos, Titan of Winterpite. Another I can think of is, I think there's one called Festus, who is a Titan aspect of Malagos, Titan of Plagues. But, Festus was burned away into nothing by Heliod himself. So the legend goes. I'll say just real quickly, as he's sort of talking about this, Eslin, you're not really paying attention. Your eyes are just zeroed in on this head of the trident, and you suddenly feel like you should go home and get that cloak and those other things really quick.
I'm going to go home. Bye.
You just yeah, you don't even say anything, you just quietly just slip out of the room whilst Daxos is talking, almost like they don't even notice. And you shoot off. You don't live terribly far, so it'll be 5-10 minutes before you get back.
So, this... Well, this... we got this from that woman, right? So, yeah, I don't know how to explain why it ended up where it did, but pretty much.
No, Barry had it.
Barry?
Baragon Duskcrawler.
Yeah.
But he got it, did he not, from surely he got that from Ethra. Like, who else?
Yeah, like, I feel
Yes.
like she would have given it to him when she
Yeah.
gave him power.
Yeah.
I don't know why she would have it.
Yeah.
Wait, you met Ethra?
Well,
Yeah.
we
Met,
kinda- you
had a
know,
bit of a...
Destroyed.
Killed her, yeah.
You killed
It
a
was
Titan
great.
aspect. Congratulations.
I know, it's quite cool, right? Like, the axe helped.
Daxos
My
just
little throwing axe killed.
brushed his shoulder. Just brushes his shoulder. What can I say? I do good work. Just flashes you a very, just like, shameless smile. Like, it's self-aware, but shameless.
It's not my fault my axe emasculates you. It's just, that's a you problem.
He just pats you on the shoulder. Don't worry, buddy. We can talk. But, I mean... Where was it exactly?
It was like a weapon he was holding.
He was
And
wielding
then-
this as a weapon.
Yeah. A spare of ice.
Yeah, that
And
thing
then-
fucking hurt.
You described to him how it sort of seemed to be affixed to the end of, like, the haft, and then he had the icicle growing around it, and he... Okay.
So hold on, wait. Is this like a mythical object that Fasta had that people didn't know were real, and now we know it's real?
Oh, people very much knew it's real, but, everything else is correct, yeah. This is... This is a rare find isn't not a small, like, a rare find is an understatement. This is a weapon wielded by a god once, or was. It's a piece of it at least. I'm starting to understand though, he seems like he might have been using it as a focus for this Titan's power. Channeling it through in. Even shattered like this, it's still... The enchantment, it's still there, it's just... fractured and inert, but... He, sort of thinks around how best to describe it. He like, sort of, like, waves his hand and he just sees, like, a... You see, like, a, like, gold sword, like, an illusion of a gold sword appear out of him. Like, it's a beautiful gold sword. It's like, say I made this and enchanted it to cut through anything, and then it lost its enchantment. It's still worth the gold it's made out of. Magical enchantments are similar in that way. They're not innately
not as powerful as it used to be.
Well, they're not innately dispelled if you break the weapon, and it is hard to break magical items, in particular ones of this power, but it lingers like a raw material, basically. And something like that still has properties that would be permitted to have certain uses in the right hands.
Something tells me we shouldn't have this, and that, you know, maybe we should give it back, and, like, maybe give it to, like, a Thassa temple. Like, we should not be holding this.
Well, I mean... If you fancy lending us that cloak again that allowed me to breathe underwater...
Oh, I saw
mean,
that ages ago.
Oh!
I can make you another one.
Yeah, I'm sure. But I mean, perhaps it best to return to, you know, the temple where Eslin grew up.
Or, like, it's a god's weapon. Like, that's some serious, like, you can't, it's a god's weapon.
Former weapon, to be fair. She's got a new one now. He chuckles at her.
True.
I mean, again, not to play a card too much, but I know a little something about having a specific path thrust upon you, and it's worth not necessarily assuming that the path laid out before you is not one that is intended for you. But hey, what do I know? I ran away from all that, right? I'll say at this point, you guys hear sort of footsteps, and then the door, it's just the big brass door shut, and then Eslin is back again. And she's holding a big cloak under one arm that has a, like, lion's head on it, and you recognize it immediately. It is the cloak Eslin used to wear, made from the pelt of the fleece-made lion, or like a sort of like a Nemean lion-style pelt. Mechanically out of character, it functions as a cloak of protection, but it's sort of like a... yeah, it's got, like, the actual lion's head has been stuffed and acts as, like, a big shoulder pad with, like, the jawless, like, top half of the head resting on the shoulder, like, on the shoulder. And then the actual pelt just in a perfectly long white, wasn't like a long sort of lion color cloak falls down.
It's sort of heavy, but you can have this. It will help you and protect you. And again, if you want to carry things for me in future, you can do. I am always in the need of manual labor. I can't help overhearing because I was trying to. You guys aren't sure whether to keep the trident. Like with the sort of stuff you guys are doing, I think Fassa will be chill with it. If you're unsure, I can cast a spell to check if that's gravy with her. Like I can try my best and see if it will work. Scotty, and Amalia, this was like in Ganas's notebook. You might want to keep this. It basically says like his name wasn't his name, but if we gave him a name, I think we would probably call him Ganassi, right? Which means that like if ever we got powerful enough, we could probably bring him back. But that's just my theory on it. But here you go. Here's that. Oh, and your
You
money.
can't give it. I mean, I never met the guy, so probably best for Amalia.
Yeah, I'll take that. I might
Okay,
read
yeah,
that
sure.
before I go to bed.
And money. I have money. Hang on, let me just check how much it is. So that's 1,172 gold. And that is for your use of your images. If you
I'm gonna just pop something in the Theros WhatsApp, just not for... I don't have the image cleared, so this is just gonna be for your guys' eyes, but for those of you who've never seen it before, like, use this image as like a reference for what the cloak kind of looks like. Which the audience won't get to see, sorry, but
Oh, fancy.
oh, and you, chosen one of Thassa. These I think match the thing that you have. Which I think if we just lightly place them together.
you watch as Eslin moves the trident head on the counter to sort of one side, and then one after the other layers a series of shards of a similar sort of coral, like pale coral colored metal of the trident head. One after the other. Scotty and Amalia, you both recognize them as being what came out of the lance that the Shark Queen wielded. And then one after the other, she finally places the last one, which has sort of like a spiked type of pommel at the end. And much in a fashion that out of character reminds you of the way Narsil in Lord of the Rings is sort of laid out on that basin, the sword that gets the shattered sword in like Rivendell. Basically, you just see like almost like a jigsaw. The rest of the haft of the trident made up of these shards, with the head sort of resting perfectly at the end. Daxos's eyes widen. Eslon, where did you get these?
I have my sources, I guess.
He looks at you like...
I refuse to elaborate further.
Just rolls his eyes.
And yes, if you could establish that connection to Thassa, that would be greatly appreciated. I don't have the means to do so myself, I believe. No reliable means, anyway.
I mean, I can have a go. It might not work. It might. But yeah. Can I cast divination?
Yes, you can.
Yeah. So basically, like.
Oh, does divination require any components? Just double checking.
I assume that I would have some in my shop, and I will run and go get some.
Okay, easy enough to do.
Oh, it's good to be minted.
Yeah, as a result, I say to Bacchios, yeah, no, this is quite common. They say, yeah, don't worry, she'll be back to this is
No doubt.
yeah.
I believe it.
Yes, the order in which tasks were completed was always very fluid in the old days. I say it with a smile, and then I kind of like while we're waiting, I kind of like look over to Amalia and go, "You all right?"
But to finally see her, I miss her so much.
I know.
I'm just like in like a little bubble cloud that's like, awesome. But it makes me miss Calliope and Justin so much. Like, I want to cry. But I'm also like, can't you cry? Because, I miss them.
I couldn't help overhearing because I was trying to. But Jason's okay too. I like to message him every now and again, but he says he's doing okay. I
We
didn't know that Calliope had left you guys, but I will check in on her too.
we came across interestingly enough, clearly Tannis has rubbed off on as well. We came across an artifact of Clothis, but not like a tangible one. It was the I think it's just called the Mirror of Clothis. The one that you get to ask any question and you see things, and I think we probably wasted our questions, but I was happy with ours. We and he looks back to Amalia again. We wanted to check in to see how they both were doing, and Jason seemed content, and Amalia seemed to have got some information about Calliope being very, very busy and working out. I don't know. I think they're piecing together their history. I think she did find whoever it was. It was a sister, mother. Oh, it's been so long. I think it was sister.
Oh,
Yes.
that's fine. I mean, if ever you guys are nearby, I can always just check in on them and just ask. But let's get this on the roll and see if this works.
Okay.
So she sort of sets up a little circle, lights her incense, and just tries to make contact.
I will just ask whoever, because I'm hearing an echo slightly. Can I just double check where that's coming from?
Is that mine? Sorry, let me adjust. I'll turn my volume down.
Okay. I think we're okay.
That was probably me. Apologies.
Cool. So, Xanthia, you, when you see, various different, sort of acolytes of Thassa sort of try to commune with, the goddess herself, it tends to be in areas, in order to ensure the, everything functions, areas that are sort of built for it, or sort of conducive to it, so, reefs that are cultivated to be a monument to the beauty of the sea, with temples built underneath them, or the temples of Meletis that still nonetheless have beautiful cultivated marine life in tanks that feed into the sea, but just basically like divine lightning rods to sort of attract her attention. You watch as in this shop, almost with a lazy flick of her hand. No, I would say lazy flick of her hand, but in a shop of a smith god, basically, this Triton before you just almost without a care in the world sort of puts her hands together, begins tracing them across each other, and as she sort of weaves them, like seawater begins to be pulled out of thin air, and which sort of swirls around her, and she just effortlessly conducts this ritual. And the act of doing so, your intrigue is definitely piqued. You've not known someone who can just innately summon that kind of connection with Thassa before. You surmise this must be someone, a powerful cleric of Thassa indeed. Alright, Eslin, as you summon her essence out the ether, you feel like the sensation on your skin like you're underwater, but it's just a lighter version of it, sort of reminding you of it. And you feel that sort of that connection establish. What I'll say, as well as that, actually, you hear a voice say, "Hello, my dear. It is good as always to hear from you."
You? My friends are very worried about keeping your weapon and reforging it. I was just wondering if we could get the A-OK from you and they promise that it's not cursed.
I have my weapon.
Well, your previous weapon, you know, the broken one.
Just to clarify, she's casting divination, right? You're casting divination.
Divination,
The one that gets
yeah,
you
like
just the one question, yeah?
it does get me the one question, but
Okay,
if
cool,
she
just go. I have my weapon. And she already has her, and you... God damn it, I fucked that up. I have my weapon. And she heard her answer already today. And that's all you get, and... the connection ends.
He says you already have your answer, but usually that means yes.
No,
It's
Daxos just chimes in and says,
the opposite,
that
Bakios.
is
I know that
really bad advice to take from anybody about anything.
Yeah, better ask forgiveness than permission, right?
Yes, and Thassa really appreciates people who are willing to forge their own way forward. So, you know, if you decide that this weapon's not for you, which is a very silly idea from somebody who speaks to her on the regular, just FYI, not flexing, by the way, just saying, like, she would want you to keep it. And I would appreciate it.
Flex you there. Sorry.
And I would appreciate it if you kept it and looked after my friends, because I am very busy earning very much money these days.
certainly.
Now who's flexing?
Thank you. This is greatly appreciated, and you know, change is inevitable, and I'm very happy to let go of my current weapon.
I'm sure Daxos will give you a fair price for it.
The regular, so I know it's a big trident, but it's mechanically a glaive, right?
Yep.
What is the price of a glaive? 20 gold pieces. He says, 10 gold? It's, well made.
I mean, you're already selling pictures of my friend's likeness.
I'm not. She
I'm
is.
surely-
No, that's me.
Sure. But maybe you can sell it for a better price if you mention that it's the weapon of a, I don't know, hero.
Oh, I could probably sell it. Like, I do have some oddities in my shop, and especially Trojans. They might be quite interested in a weapon of, you know, one of the heroes and melodies. Let me just speak to the Nether about how much that would actually get you extra.
So, out of character, it is a non-magical glaive. They cost 20 gold on, as per the rules, and whenever you sell it, something like that, generally they'll buy it for half the price. So, that's what the 10 gold came from. So, you'll be, I'll say, tell you what, we'll get to that, as that's gonna be a conversation, to have, but, oh, sorry, go ahead.
I just wanted to flex my persuasion.
Yeah, so you can maybe persuade some people to buy it off you for the prestige of such an item, and we can certainly get to that, as it were.
Cool.
How is the Siren's Wrath doing?
I imagine lonely by this point.
Does it need repairing? I can, if it's in the port, I can maybe have a look at it.
We've not used it since we acquired it. We did a bit of work on it, but I think we've not had a need to do it up. But
Oh, plenty of adventure out on the Siren Sea. I'm sure it'll come up at some point.
I do at some
I'm
point.
sure the last time we used it was when we went to Melodies.
No, that would be the Shock Queen.
That's it.
That's it. And well, the only other place in the sea. There's 2 places, Odysseys, and that's just because this guy said that mentioned his family's name, and it might be a way in. I have no idea if there's anything worth there or not. And of course, to find out where that, where to seal away the that plague and its source. Those are the only 2 places that I could think that I need to go to, or would be useful for us to go to at some point, involving a boat. But having one's useful.
Oh,
Put some of the money towards doing it up, or
it's early days, I'm sure. I actually don't know what he was going to say.
So, what are we getting for Buckios
is
then?
basically what he says.
What are we getting? What we going to? What things do you have in new that's cool and exciting?
What's your budget?
Do the razzle dazzle.
What's your budget?
Oh. About 5,000 gold pieces.
And
I don't plan to spend it all, but that's what is there currently.
And you're looking to buy for hidden?
Well, no, just show what you have, like no higher than. And
thinks for a moment. You want a weapon specifically?
Weapon or whatever you think would be useful. I'm not good at the guessing thing. I'd be a rubbish tailor. I don't know what looks good on people because I think just take it all off, which doesn't work in all circumstances.
Well,
so you put the pitch.
He sort of goes to one of the weapon walls where you see 2 spears that you haven't seen there before, adjacent to each other in the case. I'll just oh sorry, that's on the different screen. Don't worry, we will I'll be aware of that, yeah. He sort of goes over to the case. Just finished enchanting these, actually. Well, this first one will be in your budget. And he pulls it out, and he pulls out one spear that it has these like elements of it almost remind you of a trident, but it's the sort of pronged sides of it are closer together and actually go under a sort of like barbed point that almost reminds you of an arrowhead. So it's sort of like, if you think like in the middle, it almost looks like this. Sorry, that's like sort of like that type of a deal. And I call this the Sky Anchor. And basically, as he describes to you, this is built to trap flying creatures. If you can hit them when you throw it, it'll create a tether onto a point on the ground, a astral chain. It can keep an object that weighs up to 4,000 pounds from being pulled this way. And, or any, creature that can't surpass the, something very strong may be able to break the astral chain, but they'd have to, succeed on the exertion first. So yeah, the properties as he continues to describe them, basically, you get it's a spear with a, +1 bonus to attack and damage rolls. When you throw it, so it has a normal throwing range of 40 feet as opposed to the normal. And when you hit with a ranged attack using this weapon, you can speak its command word to create a magical chain that extends from the spear to a point on the ground. When you do, the spear remains lodged in the target, and the target can't move farther away from the point until it dislodges the spear. At the end of each of its turns, the target is pulled 10 feet closer to that point. The spear has a limit of 4,000 pounds when it comes to objects. It's dislodged from the target after 1 minute, or when the creature uses its action to make a DC 15 strength check. But when it does dislodge the spear this way, it deals an additional 2d8 piercing damage to the target, and the spear is immediately pulled back to the point. This will cost you exactly 5,000 gold. Track me. Alternatively, if you can spare an additional 800 gold. He grabs the second spear, and this one in particular is a beautiful... One second. Just pulling up his stat block. It's a beautiful spear that has a sort of figurine of a falcon at the base, just sort of where the before the actual spear of the blade is, and the haft is this sort of almost like a narwhal horn, like has like a spin sort of twist into it. That's wrapped with red leather. I call this a peregrine spear. You speak this one's command word when you throw it, and it'll do damage depending on how far away the target is. So yeah, it's a +1 spear also. When you throw the weapon whilst speaking its command word as your action, the target on a hit takes an extra 1d4 piercing damage for every 5 feet the spear flew before hitting it, up to a maximum of 12d4. Hit or miss, the spear flies back to your hand, and you can't use this property until the next turn.
Very impressive.
I'm going to look to Bakrios and go, ignore the numbers, which one do you think is more useful?
For me, I'm not good at throwing shit. I'm only good at hitting shit.
This is true.
This is very true. I'm not an artful death dealer. I just hit shit. Sorry.
Oh, sorry, continue.
No, I'm sorry. I don't have the master capability for your fineness, sir.
Well, it's not quite an axe, but he goes to the other end and he pulls out a So you would know this as a war scythe. So it's it reminds you of a scythe, except the as opposed to being sort of Reaper style this way, it's curved up like that. This one has sort of like a jagged, almost like a Stanley knife shape to it, and the blade is a sort of dull blue. But then yeah, you would recognize the metal as cobalt in particular. This is you have to attune to it, but it can channel lightning in each strike, and you can when you hit a creature once per turn, you can make an arc of lightning strike an additional creature. So it does a d8 extra lightning. It's a glaive that does a d8 extra lightning damage. Once per turn, when you hit a creature with this weapon, you can choose a different creature within 10 feet of the target. That creature must succeed on a DC 15 dexterity saving throw or take 1d8 lightning damage as an arc of electricity lashes out from the original target.
I shall call it surprise.
How much is it?
7,000.
With
I shall call it unaffordable.
I hold out I point towards the felling great axe.
6,500.
Wow!
I'll put in 1,000.
No, God, I can't ask you all to put that much money in for me.
We're
If
500.
I have it, I'll give it. You should have something nice.
So 6,500, 5,500 with Helia's contribution. If I put in as long as I've got enough for a drink, it's fine. So put that. So I need another 500. Have you got 500 within you?
Do I?
I don't know
If I
if
do,
you
I'll
have.
put it in.
Daxos tries to sort of like think for a moment, see if there's
Oh
anything
wait,
else.
how much did we get? How much did we get for the Iron Scale Hydra?
You have not gone there yet.
Ah, shit.
Ah,
It's a very good point. We're gonna get paid for these ingredients, aren't we?
Look, this weapon's still gonna be here, and I might have some new stuff coming up tomorrow.
Okay.
So sleep on it. This is
Put it to one side. I think it's a good one.
Oh,
I'll offer the felon great axe as a deposit, so he doesn't sell it.
he graciously accepts such an offer.
And my carrying capacity is
And,
saved yet again.
We can talk business whenever we want. Tonight is a night of celebration. Let's enjoy ourselves. And he promises he'll happily come party with you guys once the day is, like, the shopping day. It wasn't like the business day is over.
We should have a meal again. We did that last time when the stores were closed. It was really nice. We should do that. And we can get drunk, but
We can do it here, or we can go out, or
You're welcome around mine. I mean, I sort of have to go home to the kid in a second, so that would suit me better.
let's do it.
as you Leo, before you go, I know you were looking at that axe with him, but and he you notice in particular, Bithynia, that he eyes up Couplet. Could I interest you in something, Bithynia?
Oh,
In an
sorry,
effort
I
to
thought
part
you
you from as much gold as possible.
give
he
some, like, top shelf cat.
Pulls out a iron band, like, so he sort of goes to one of the shelves and he sort of unbuckles a case. Wasn't like opens this glass case and takes out a iron band. And as he looks up and down in Bakios and says, "This could almost result in a running theme for you guys." He sets this iron band down and you see that it has 3 different little engravings and sculptings on it. A head of a goat, a head of a dragon, and a head of a lion. It's to evoke the image of a chimera. And he says, "This is a chimeric collar. You put this on her," and he points to Couplet. "You'll be able to temporarily make her the size of a horse." So he says, the chimeric collar, magic collar is 3 sections of sculpted metal. As he describes it to you as bound by a strip of leather, each side representing the head of a dragon, lion, and ram. You can place the collar on a willing medium or small creature using an action. If the creature is a friendly beast companion or familiar, you speak the collar's command word as part of this action to create a magical bond between the creature. You can use a bonus action to speak the collar's command word while you can see the bonded creature within 30 feet of you. When you do, the creature grows in size to become large, provided there's enough space. When it becomes enlarged, it gains 2d10 plus 4 temporary hit points, can understand Draconic, and magically grows... And at your choice, can magically grow a second identical head next to its own that lasts for the duration. Whenever the enlarged creature takes the attack action, it can make 2 attacks, or it can take the multi-attack action instead if it has that action. The creature remains enlarged for up to 1 minute until it drops to 0 hit points, or until you end the effect using a bonus action. Once it uses the property, what you can't use again until the next dawn.
Okay, so I just emptied my pockets for this guy over here.
You haven't done so
I don't
yet.
How
That's
much is it?
Okay. Okay, can I put that, can you just hold it, because I don't have the cash on hand right now. I don't have the Dracos, anything, duck sauce, anything. I have nothing to barter. So I would like you to put that on hold and we will be back.
Also,
I
how
can-
much was it going to be?
5,800.
It's not bad. It's not bad. I think it's gonna rain.
As we're
We
pelting
will
him
be
with
back.
tacos.
Yep.
Well, I'm sure there's plenty of work out there. Oh, right, I just realized that I revealed Doxus. But we can talk about all that at some point. In the, meantime, why don't we, celebrate? He'll, yeah, so I'll say, given the time that it is, you would have about 4 or 5 hours until evening, per se, so you guys can see about doing anything else that you want in terms of montage-y type stuff, and then we can cut straight to that part of the evening.
Oh, I'm happy to go to jump to the
Okay.
evening.
We can say that you can spend some time studying some bit more with Penelope, so you can take note of those hours that you spend doing that.
Okay.
But yeah, we arrive at the evening as you guys have gone about your various businesses. And you arrive at Eslin's quite nice villa of sorts that's within the city, and you follow her inside and you see some familiar faces. A muscle-bound Triton with a large orange sail of a fin going down his back, that you remember to be Kodos, her husband. His manta ray-shaped, or stingray-shaped axe just mounted on the wall now. And a little Triton boy with hair the color of his father's fin, but hair like his mother, as opposed to sail on his head. Laughing and happily playing with a human child in an area, as they've got little wooden swords and are sort of going back and forth.
So welcome to my home. I've cooked stuff that I think people will like, but if you don't like it, I won't be offended. I can try and make something else, or like maybe see if anyone else is around. Yeah. So if you guys ever have time, just I'm gonna like just remember what you guys look like, not to be like creepy. Might need to take some measurements, and then I'll have some new merch available in the shop at some point. But it's a good little side hustle, and I do give it back to you guys whenever you guys pop around. So, yeah.
A stocky woman with short bob-cut hair comes out from round the corner holding a glass of wine, and I am so sorry, I didn't know you were going to have guests, Eslin. I will take Dismas home, and she is the mother of the human boy. And
No, it's fine. He's welcome around any time. It is pretty late though, so have a good night, and Thassa bless you.
Thassa bless you too. And this woman whose name is Krisis takes Dismas by the hand, and Dismas says goodbye to his to your son, his best friend, and they're off pretty quickly. It was sort of the end of the play date anyway. Kodos
But yeah.
comes in close and in a sort of the booming voice that you recognize. Welcome again, Tempest. It is good to see you all again. He pulls Eslin close, gives her a kiss. Welcome to our home.
Yeah, welcome. Make yourself comfortable. Sit anywhere. Do what you want.
I like to think like I don't know if the rest of it, like there's kind of like just this awkward pause where we're all just standing there going, yeah, cool.
Oh, to be retired.
Yeah, definitely a sensation of what do we yeah, sure. Oh yeah, I love what you've done with the place. Oh yeah, good. Oh yeah, I remember that. Yeah, sure.
I do
yeah,
have
I'll
lots of wine, like lots of wine.
The wine helps a lot.
Oh, and she does, and she has some like shit you've never seen before, Barkios. You recognize it's Xanthia by virtue of coming from the sea yourself. some of this is made of fermented kelp, and at first it has an incredibly bitter taste, Bakios, but it sort of like matures into like a tang that you're like, I hate it, but I want more, and I don't know how that works.
Fuck.
Quite addicting, isn't it?
Oh my god, I want it so bad.
We have lots, and you know, if you ever want to pop around and carry more stuff for me, I have more wine.
Why? Oh my god, yes. Okay.
Yeah, this is all very awkward, but I'm very glad to see you all alive. I did hear stories about a kraken, and then I did get very concerned. And then there was poisoning nearby in the town, and then
It just
I was,
occurred to me as well that we never said what happened to Aristophanes, so fuck it, I'll say he's here as well.
That's fantastic.
Is
That
this the guy that got shrunk down?
Yeah, that's
Did he
him.
bring his cat?
He's like Bithynia's BFF now. It's fantastic. He did bring his cat, so he brings his
Oh,
non-familiar, regular-ass, big, fat ginger cat named Mindy, who, some of you remember less fondly when you guys were, the size of
Tiny.
a matchbox. And, Mindy was effectively
I
Godzilla to you.
think it's just Amalia that was there. Actually, I think the rest. I think
Was that
it's literally just-
Ganassi?
It was Ganassi, yes. I think it's just Amalia
Oh.
that.
I
well,
thought that was Scotty's like first one.
was it?
I
Oh,
remember
yes,
doing
it
Yes,
was.
it was.
Yes,
It was
because
like
I
one
was.
of
Yes,
Scotty's
I had.
first
Yes,
ones,
no
yeah.
big money, no whammy yeet. As I was trying to climb up the stairs. You're right. Yes, I do remember.
Yeah,
that.
because you were
Yeah,
jumping
yeah,
up the
because
things, yeah.
you tried to like bludge your way out the
Yes,
door.
you're right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, all the adventures just blur into one drunken mess. It's great.
Aristophanes sort of says, I still don't like to talk about that. That was an experience. I was down there for 3 days.
I like to think that the cat comes and visits Eslin regularly for like some dank fish.
You've heard briefly about this, Bithynia, but Aristophanes elaborates to everyone who sort of is unfamiliar. Basically, my shrinking experiments to try and perfect miniaturization in order to facilitate the transport of heavy building materials and things like that across the sea and expand the horizons of what is possible for transportation went a little bit awry, and I was the size of a mouse for about 3 days. I was stuck in a mousetrap that I stupidly tried to use as a catapult to get onto the roof. My arm was broken really badly, but these guys came and shrunk themselves down accidentally as well. They got me out,
Yep.
and this one, he playfully taps on Eslin's shoulder, somehow managed to persuade my cat Mindy to not eat her, and instead ferry her outside.
I am very persuasive.
And Mindy, who's like a big, fat, chonky girl, just sort of like marshals her way up to Couplet. And a Couplet's like, and Mindy kind of just like, it's a power move to be sure, but it is like a cuddle, but she sort of just like smothers Couplet with the cuddle and just uses her girth to pin Couplet. In like a lovable power move. Just like... Meow.
Bithynia loves it, but continue.
But
She knows
yes,
that once they get together, they'll be friends. They'll be fine. They'll be fine.
for the purposes of brevity, as I'm conscious of time, I will say that a lovely night is had by all. And you all just take in the familiarity, and sure, the other nights you've partied after everything that's gone down were no less enjoyable and relaxing and freeing, but getting to spend time with an old friend again, getting to be back in the city you call home again, and home for some of you, but a nice dose of civilization that you haven't had in a while for some others of you who've spent a long time in the wild. It's all nice. It's Bakios, you especially. It's been a while since you enjoyed like a family meal, and that's sort of more what you take from it, but it's no less powerful.
Whoa.
And I'll just quickly wrap up as the evening, and I hope I'll be forgiven for engineering this slightly, but as the evening draws to a close and people are having a nightcap, most of you are listening to Scotty just play a real big old ballad on his Aeolus. Xanthia, you're sort of just taking in the night air. You've had a bit of wine, so you're cooling off in the sea breeze, and you're sort of just enjoying that moment to yourself by the balcony, and you hear a voice behind you asking if they might join you for a moment. You turn and you see Eslin.
Certainly, yes.
Take care of them for me, will you?
Of course. I may not have known them for as long as you have, but I will give it my all to keep them safe.
You shouldn't doubt that you're worthy of the trident, by the way. I'm sure when it's fixed up, it will just be almost part of you, like it was for Thassa. You seem, very capable and really just cool. And that's a really lame thing to say, but, it's nice to know that Thassa will be watching over them because you're nearby.
Yes. Thank you. I think I needed that kind of reassurance.
Oh yeah, I'm great at pep talks. I can talk for hours. If ever you need it, just I can call in, or just reach out whenever. Like, if ever you guys need anything when you're in Melitese, or if you ever need the hands of a cleric, I'll be nearby.
It's greatly appreciated, and I'm sure this won't be the last time that we see each other.
Ideally, I'd like it not to be like a time when you appear to me injured. Like, I like it when you come to me all like whole and like well, and maybe not murdering your dads, or unless that's what you want to do. But
Yeah.
yeah, come back.
I'll keep them safe for you.
And if you're still around in the morning, I'll touch one of you with Death Ward so you can not die the next time you're in a fight.
Is that indefinite? Never mind, we'll look at that later.
No, it lasts for 8 hours, but as
Okay.
long as they have a fight in the next 8 hours, which I'm sure they will, because they are very danger prone.
I could see them just going out of their way to pick a fight even when there isn't one.
Wow.
It's like a teenager doing the paper round. It's like,
Yeah.
you want to fight?
Yeah.
But that aside, yeah. You share a moment of understanding and just take in the sea. That was your home, and now this is your home, and just have that between you before you go inside to join in a raucous celebration just in time as Daxos basically just grabs a handful of embers from the fire and then just throws them on the ground, and almost like a ricocheting shrapnel, but they're actually like fireworks now as they hit the ground. They're like they start blasting in all directions, harmlessly ricocheting off of you guys as well. As in, there's no danger, obviously, but he just basically, in one fell swoop, turns the entire room into like a firework-based like rave. And Zemez, your son, just like giggles really happily, and you hope that soot's gonna wash out, and Daxos just gives you a sheepish grin.
abacus out and calculates the damage just in case.
And as you guys enjoy the rest of your evening home at last, I will say that is where we'll end tonight's session. A huge hand to Paige for reprising Eslin for us so graciously. She is the best. She has always been the best. Whether it's making all of us whether it's making all of us feel warm and fuzzy inside, or it's breaking noses when she rolls a nat 1 with her mace.
Yep.
Paige is...
No, it's been good.
No, thanks, mate.
Yeah, it's it was good to this was really lovely, and thank you so much to everybody in the audience who tuned in for this. We do so appreciate it very, very much. Slightly earlier session, slightly shorter session, I'm aware. I think I've noticed that Becca had to love and leave us for a additional commitment. We'll pick things up next week. I'll encourage my players to have a little bit of think about what they might want to do or get done. A new chapter has begun as the old one closes, and we'll see what we have in store for everybody next week. Thank you all so much. Be sure to check out our new emotes, and have a good night. We are DC30. Bye.